Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Totally VR podcast. I am your host, Controser, and I'm here with my co-hosts.
Hello, I'm Flat.
I am Zycu. Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you both with me again. It's always fun to get together. What's been going on with all of you? Any updates?
Well, I've got a wonderful life update for you. My brother is gonna come by and visit my place. He's coming into town over from California, so he's gonna be here for the weekend.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun. When was the last time you saw him?
I think 8 months ago.
Okay.
A good long while ago. He doesn't really come to hang out too often. He has a whole life. He has like a wife, kids, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. How dare people have lives?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the VRChat way, my guy. No, I totally get it. I haven't seen my family in quite a while myself, other than, when we were at the wedding.
Oh,
But not all of
yeah.
them were able to make it, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
What
that's
happens when you
right.
move all the way across the United States.
That's true.
What about you, Zyku? Anything new?
Nothing quite new. Just been working a lot. Been spending my time with friends when I have the off time. Just playing games and vibing. Nothing too crazy in my sector.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, and then for me, everything's been going pretty well. Just in a big move right now. Gonna be getting a slightly bigger apartment. I mean, slightly. It's not like crazy big. Just an extra
Not super
bedroom.
big.
Just an extra bedroom. Um,
Are you moving somewhere like far away or?
no, actually, it's just the building next to us. So
Oh,
we're literally
why are
going.
you even moving then?
Well, we found out because our lease got terminated, or not terminated, our lease is ending, so we decided to see what options we had, because, they're going to raise the price of the lease after the year ends.
Oh,
Found,
why?
because that's just what they do when you have apartments. When you have an apartment and you live there for a year, or you live past your first lease, they always increase the price for the following. I don't know why. You think they would make it the same or lower it because you're a returning
That's
customer,
what I'm thinking.
but no, they just keep going up. So we found out that our lease, because I'm in Seattle area, not specifically gonna say where, but in the Seattle area, it's not cheap to live here. So
I wouldn't think so.
our original apartment was a one bedroom for about 2050 per month, and then
Uh-huh.
after the upgrade of the lease, it was gonna be 2170, and it's like, oh,
That is a huge
I
increase
mean, it's about
from
$100, so it's not
from
terrible, but we looked at the two
It's
bedroom.
horrible.
Yeah, no, it's not great. I wish it was like $5 more. That'd be great. But the two bedroom that we looked at actually was much more comparable because it ended up only being 2210. So spending the extra $50 at most to have a whole other room, I was like, you know what? For at least one more year, that's not bad. I can do that.
that sounds insane to me because where I'm from, like rent's sitting, around 1100, 1200. And just hearing you talk about those numbers, I'm like, what the heck, man? I
No,
wouldn't survive a day out
you're
there.
absolutely right. It is awful. You're like, oh, I'm making good money, and people are like, oh, you're rich, and it's like,
You're
no,
paying good money
I'm
too.
paying the good money. I gotta live. So it's like, even if you're making 30 an hour, it's still hard to make it out here in Seattle area. But it's what it is. We're getting a slightly bigger apartment, so that's always fun. The only struggle I'm running into now is that not the insurance, the network that I'm using for internet, which I love. I'm having a blast with it. I'm getting 2 gigabits per second.
Sorry, me.
Yeah, right. It's another perk of being in Seattle area, I guess. But the downside that I'm running into is the people who lived in the apartment before me that I'm moving into didn't cancel their account. So their account isn't going to close until the 19th. So I've got to try and find some way to get a hold of them to get them to cancel it early so I can have internet when I finally move in. So that's always fun.
They are gonna leave you on red. I
They
promise
better
you.
not. They better not. I will lose my mind. No internet for 2 weeks is not fun.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
assuming there's no way to plead with the cable company.
I've tried. They said they can't do anything unless the customer's canceling the account because you can't tell them to cancel someone else's account. That's just not how it works.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be showing up to your place and canceling all your stuff.
No. Yeah, just imagine walking in on someone being like, "Hey, your account is canceled."
Yeah. It'd be a
Yeah.
terrible way to troll someone.
No, for sure. But last time that we were here, we talked about our experience. Vera did ask a quick question before I move on. She says, "Is that a lot?" Depending on where you live, that can definitely be a lot. The price of living kind of scales with the amount of money that people typically make in their area. But for Seattle, it's not so balanced. You end up paying a lot more than you would in other places based on the amount of pay that you typically would receive. It's just a problem, especially if you're living in the city. I'm not in the city, which was a huge benefit because in the city you're looking at about $2,000 for a studio bedroom or a studio apartment, which doesn't even have a bedroom. So,
I don't. So Vera then asked a follow-up, shouldn't the apartment manager be able to force them to cancel? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the apartment manager cares. They're probably already out of the house. They probably don't even want to talk to them anymore.
that's actually a great question. I actually reached out to my apartment complex because they actually are really good friends of mine, the people who are in charge of it. So they actually said, "Oh, that's horrible. Let us reach out to the old client and or the old apartment owner and see if we can get them to cancel it sooner." So keeping my fingers crossed that they'll be able to do so, so I can get my
Oh,
internet up
yeah.
in there.
And here's an idea. I don't know if it'll work.
Yeah.
But it'd be worth a try. Is talking to the cable company and be like, hey, if you guys don't cancel this by my move-in date, I'm gonna have to go with another provider, and it'll probably be a Dish provider or Starlink.
Are there other providers in
Maybe
the area?
maybe they would
Yeah.
be
Comcast
more
is,
willing
but
to do something for you if you tell them,
that I won't
threaten them
continue there. Yeah.
that you're not going to be using their service because it's not available to you.
No,
Oh
that's very true.
yeah. They might actually.
So worst
They
case
might at
scenario, I'll
least
try
escalate
that.
your issue.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I'll give that a shot. But I did want to go and move into our next topic and have a discussion about our experience as creators, because we started talking earlier about how we got into VR, especially into VRChat. But when we're in VRChat, there's a whole different ecosystem of people who make stuff for the game. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that. I'll start with you, Flat. What was your experience like creating stuff?
Well, I used to work on avatars at around 2018 or maybe 2017, around there. I made a two or so avatars. And my experience then was it was just so complex. I was much younger back then, so I didn't want to, get into working on Unity or any of this extra stuff. So I stopped making, for a good several years. And much more recently, about 2 or so years ago, I started to get back into avatar creation. And what started was a friend of mine made an avatar for me. And I was like, wow, that's really cool, but I wish I could, add a little bit more onto it. And that kind of started me to creating my very first avatar, which was a Rendo. And I did some small things on it, and over time I was pretty satisfied with it, but I still felt like, the Rendo wasn't really mine because my friend kind of did a lot of the work for me. So I bought the Celestia base and I did a bunch of work on it. I bought a bunch of stuff from the marketplace, from booth, hairs, clothing, assets, shaders, a bunch of stuff. And I just kind of went in and started working on my own Celestia that I'm still using today. It
Nice.
is one of my favorite avatar bases for sure.
What makes it so special for you?
Well, I'm going to be honest. Rendo was not as thick as Celestia. Next question.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh wait, let's go back to that thing.
Well, you know what you
No,
like, and that's
but
what
yeah.
matters, right?
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So you said you still use a Celestia now?
Yes, I do use Celestia most of the time now. I am kind of working on another avatar,
Ooh.
but it's a little bit of a lot of work because what I'm doing is I have to use the the body base of one avatar, and then I have to use the head base of another avatar. So we
Oh,
have to, I
yeah.
kind of have to, stitch those together in Blender, and it's kind of a long process. I will update you guys 2 weeks from now about that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing how it's going, because let me tell you, doing stitches like that is never easy.
It really isn't.
Sometimes it's beneficial to put like a little necklace on it so you can like hide the stitch.
Yeah, baby. I
Uh,
mean, it kind of fits in pretty well so far. As
yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Zyku? How's your model creation experience? Or world
Well, you
creation?
were around for the initial experiences that I had. An
I was.
example is my first
oh,
experiences with Blender, for example, creating my own avatar. Uh, I
Oh my
did something
goodness.
to one of my blend shapes, and my avatar literally exploded inside of
what
Unity.
the?
Oh yeah, I
I
remember
have an
that.
image somewhere. I'll have to like share it sometime. But
How did it explode?
essentially, like if you just imagine the dust cloud of an explosion, that was my avatar.
Did it
Not
just
too sure
stretch out
like
every single like try
I
or
don't know what I
something?
did, but essentially what I did was I bound something to a blend shape and then I like removed the blend shape in a way that allowed it to just expand,
Endlessly.
disproportionately in every direction. And so you can see all the polygons just stretched, and it was a it was quite a cluster. And I can tell you that I showed Khan and he was just like, "Yeah, you did something wrong, buddy." And I was like, "Yeah,
I could have told you that.
yeah." But outside of that, that was like some of my initial experiences. But outside of that, I started to do different things with my avatars, just editing like little details here and there. And um, over time, I became a little bit more proficient. I consider myself a novice uh, when it comes to avatar creation, but I know I probably know more than the average VRChat player, because not everyone actually does edit their avatar or make their own avatars. A lot of people go to like Booth, or they go
Yeah.
to something like a asset provider, or they know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody's grandma who has a
Yeah,
friend,
that.
and they'll allow you
Man,
to
the
go
grandmas
to
on
their
VRChat be going wild.
Discord and download. They'll allow you to go to their Discord and download avatars for free or for a price or something. But for me personally, I've made tweaks to my avatar. I've had people commission to do some tweaks to my avatar that I just out of my skill set, and uh, I've even dabbled a little bit in world creation. Did some from scratch stuff, but it never came to fruition. For example, I
Hmm.
struggled with light probes. I don't know if anyone here has messed with light probes before,
Yes,
but
I've used light
it's
probes before. They are very confusing. I had an asset that actually did most of the light probes for me when I was actually working on making levels for an like a irrelevant topic, but I also dealt with light probes. They are obnoxious.
yeah. For me, it was the waiting game while you're trying to learn it. So when you're
Hmm.
rendering, for those who don't know, when you're rendering the lighting for a scene, it's either you have two options. Either you allow it to be real time lighting, and it will be expensive on the person who is viewing it whenever it's uploaded in game, or however you're presenting this creation. And if you don't have that light baked into the scene, you're essentially telling whoever's rendering it to constantly render that light to give it the look that you want it to have. But if you bake it, it's kind of making it stay there in a way that is cheaper for a computer or a system to run. And so I have this world uploaded right now. It's not public, but whenever you go to this world and you look at the house that I have on this beach, it drops your frames down to probably below 10 frames a second. It's really rough. But outside that, I really haven't spent a whole lot of time in recent years messing with creation, because it's time consuming. And
Yeah.
if you don't have the time, then you're not going to really progress, or your projects aren't going to be completed. So that's kind of where
You
I sit
are
with all that.
Yeah, you are very right about that. It is very time consuming. It is one of those things where you have to spend a lot of time learning it, and you have to be
Yeah.
very patient too.
No, for sure. That was my experience as well. I've been making stuff since about 2018, but I've been kind of off and on with it. Uh, I don't make consistently. I wish I did, because if I did, I'd probably be an actually good model maker that people could go to for help and for actual models be made for them for a price. But little old me decided, oh, I want to make a model, and then I made it, and I'm like, nice, and then I didn't touch it for months to a year. And
Dang.
it's just how it goes for me. I make a really good one, and I'm like, I'm content, and then I don't touch it. Or I make one, and I'm like, I've got so many ideas, and then I get all the way through, and then I go, eh, and then I just stop
That's
in the middle.
yeah. That's my
I know
creative
you
thought
spent a lot of
process
time.
too.
I know you spent a lot of time learning how to optimize avatars.
Oh yeah, no, optimization was one of those things that I really wanted to take a real crack at, because it's one of the things you don't see people do. No one ever optimizes their stuff. I mean, not no one, obviously. There's some people that do, but a majority don't. So
Yeah,
when
like
you're running,
80%
yeah,
don't.
80% at least don't. So that when you go into worlds and stuff, a lot of people have frame drops, or if they're using Quest, it becomes very difficult for them to see the avatars, let alone if they do turn it on, survive sometimes, because a lot of times their frames drop so bad that they can't continue moving unless they turn off people's avatars. So I always wanted to make sure that I did a lot of optimization. One of the first projects that I did where I learned how to optimize was actually worlds. I made my very first and only world. Yeah, very. It does hurt when you have Quest trying to do with all these avatars.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so the
Really.
very first world that I created was a Kingdom Hearts themed world, which was the Station of Awakening, where you first start in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, which is like this floating glass platform, like stained glass, and I did a lot of fun with that. I took pictures of a lot of my close friends at the time, like Zycu, and threw them on there as if they were my party members, and then myself as the main character on the glass stain, as if it was Kingdom Hearts itself, and it was really good. Thank you, Corona. It is a really cool world. I'll pump myself
Yeah.
up there. But the thing that I found was very challenging was getting it super optimized, because I wanted to make it as simple as possible. And even with as bare bones as it was just a cylinder for a platform. It was still 10 megabytes to download. Now that's nothing in comparison to some of the worlds that we visit. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been to worlds
10
that
megabytes is fast.
10 megabytes is quick. I've seen some worlds that were probably 150 on the low end. And
Yeah.
it's cool and all, but it just, you can tell that they didn't put a lot of optimization into that aspect. And the whole reason it was so big, I think, was because I put the audio file directly into the world rather than doing a media player, which I see a lot of worlds doing
Yeah.
now. So if
Audio
I,
files are very big.
yeah,
You
so if I
like
had done that, it probably would have been a megabyte or less. Um, but I just never got back to that project to fix it up. But it was a lot of
Well, the cool
fun.
thing,
Go ahead.
the cool thing about making worlds like that is that a lot of people, and I think this goes underappreciated, is a lot of people take for granted what the creators behind avatars and VR chat worlds like really present,
Oh yeah.
um, in the sense of a lot of people take a lot of time to try to explain their thoughts or what's on their minds or even convey their vision, ideas, or dreams. But when you're a creator, you can essentially open up a window into your mind for others to kind of transverse and experience exactly what it is in your mind that you see. And so I think it's really interesting that you're able to do that to begin with.
No, most definitely.
exactly. Yeah, like my own avatars, I love them because they tell other people exactly what I like and what I'm into. It's the same thing when I see other people in avatars of like, maybe a series or franchise that I'm really into. I'm
Hmm.
immediately like, in my mind, I'm friends with that person.
Yeah, I get that entirely. So when I got into the avatar making, it was a very similar process of I want to make sure my things are optimized, not just for my own benefit, but for everyone I play with's benefit. So most of my models are medium or better, is what I typically aim for. I have a couple very poors just because I didn't feel like optimizing in that moment, or I wanted to do a lot more with the model that I just couldn't if I didn't optimize it. But the real start of my journey in model making was actually with Uganda Knuckles. Just kind of like my real start playing seriously in the game was Uganda Knuckles. There was a model back then that was a Uganda Knuckles in a suit, and it was
Yes.
maybe like Trap Chans or something like that. I can't remember for sure. I actually had another friend who helped me with some of my models when I first started because I was running a really crappy laptop back then, and his name was Traps Are Gay. Love the dude. My very first friend
Dang,
in
based.
VRChat. Him and Colada Bear. Made him friends with them both at the
Yeah.
same time.
But I think one time you said though the hands on that were pretty bad, right?
Yeah,
On
so the
your
original one was not that bad. Then I found out that that model got removed completely from the world, from the game, and I couldn't access it. And I was like, no, no, no. I like this suit Knuckles. I want a suit Knuckles. So I took it upon myself and I'm like, I'm going to learn how to do this. So I went and made my own Knuckles in a suit. And that was one of my very first models that I ever did. The problem was I was using a Roro model, which was
Roro.
yeah,
What is that?
it's a really old TDA Vocaloid. It's this pink-haired guy with a little beanie and wears a white jacket.
Oh,
So I stitched. My friend helped me with that one, and then he stitched the head onto a suit, and that was what I did for a VR wedding way back in the day. And then I took that model that he gave me and I took the head off and I learned how to stitch my own Knuckles head onto it. And that was my first Knuckles in a suit, but the hands were so ugly. Because it was that old TDA hand, it didn't have the quality that you get with a lot more booth models and stuff now.
oh yeah, for sure.
So I took that, and Knuckles wears gloves. So I just took the hands of Roro and painted them white and said, look, they're gloves.
It works every
It
time.
works. So I did that for a while, and then I slowly have been evolving it over the years. But the most recent version of it that I did took me about 2 months to finish. Because
Why is that?
I redid everything from scratch. Like
Like the whole suit and
the
everything,
whole
like the
suit, the
textures and
gloves,
everything.
the textures, the UVs, the bones, the head, all of it.
Yeah, I would not be able to do something like that. I am much more of like a person who edits a bunch of bases and puts them on instead of like creating stuff because
Yeah,
that is
that
something
is
that
an
I cannot do.
undertaking.
People are talented at creating models like from nothing. Like they could just hop into Blender, make a
Yeah.
circle, and then they could just like make it into a person, but I cannot do that.
No, I'm not that good at that either. I'm still in the beginning learning phases. Like I'm working, this is a secret for some people, but now it's going to be out and known in the public world space because of the podcast, but I'm in the process of working on a Toady avatar that's going to be using that Knuckles suit base and just replacing the head with Toady. And I'm learning a
All
lot with
right.
this because my main way of doing the face this time is going to be 2D. So instead of having a 3D modeled mouth and 3D modeled eyes, I'm going to do 2D textures and learn how to make that actually
Yeah,
work
they're
and
very
function.
easy to do. Like Visemes on a like a 2D texture, it's a lot easier to do instead of, like with a 3D.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be you're saving yourself some struggle there, I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm sure, because then I just got to draw new ones whenever I want to make something new. But it's just going to be a
Exactly.
process of learning how to get that to run within Unity, because I've not done 2D stuff before, especially mixed with 3D. So I'm gonna be delving into some new territory for sure. But the optimization that I really dug into, because at first I just made the Knuckles in the suit and I made it as pretty as I could, and I was like, this is great. But it wasn't very good quality. I think it was poor. It wasn't very poor, but it was poor. And then VRChat was like, hey, we're doing a contest. If you get your model to be excellent on Quest and PC, then we'll consider uploading it as a public avatar. If you
Yes,
send
I
it to
remember when they did this. There was a
yeah.
lot of very good looking and well done models that
Oh
came
my
out of that
oh my
contest. A
lord, yeah.
lot of really good
There was
ones.
one that I saw that literally had customization all over it. Like you could swap out the heads, swap out the arms, change the outfits, and somehow they got that excellent. I That's witchcraft to me.
Yeah, that's
And they
magic.
had a button you could do that would let you randomize it. Like it would just choose them at random every single time, and I don't know how they managed that, but
Unity heroes. Unity heroes.
wherever you are, model maker, you're doing God's work. But I jumped into that contest and I was like, I'm gonna make my Knuckles in a suit a public avatar. This is gonna happen because the Uganda Knuckles is such history, and I was like, they're gonna love it or they're gonna hate
Especially
it,
for VR chat.
especially for VRChat. So I dug deep for 2 months and I started pounding through, and I got him under 7,500 polys, and it still looked pretty dang good. And that was quite a challenge for me, and I had a lot of fun. I made him so he could like change colors, so you can turn him into Sonic or Knuckles or and then the challenge or the funny thing that happened is I finally got to submitting it, and they turned out that they got too many submissions. So
Oh
the
yeah,
time
I
that they said
remember.
oh, this is
Oh.
when you can submit it by, they actually pushed it back, and I wasn't aware of that because they never announced it publicly. It was just changed on the website. So I went to the website. I was like, I can't submit. What's going on? So I reached out and I was like, hey, please, I was working on this for so long. Can you let me submit it? Could you change the time without letting us know? And they're like, fine, you can send it to me directly. So I sent it to them and they went, it's not original enough.
That's what I remember you saying. That's insane how
Yeah.
they would say that though. Like it is that's like part of VR chat history, Uganda
Yeah.
Knuckles. It's one of the reasons that it got so popular. Like a lot of like memes and like things that happened in early VR chat just skyrocketed it on like YouTube and everywhere else where it was putting eyes on it for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not too upset because I know they don't have the best tastes with the Uganda Knuckles. I told myself before this even started, either that they do this and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to have my own avatar up there and it's going to be something that people will love and fall in love and be public and all that stuff. Or they're going to look at it and go, oh, this is Uganda Knuckles again. Let's not.
You're
Let's
one
let's
of
save
them.
ourselves. Plus, another thing to keep in mind is Uganda Knuckles is based on Knuckles from Sonic. So if they were to try to make that one of their public avatars, they might run into legal issues. So I wasn't expecting it to work, but I was mildly hopeful.
Yeah,
So
that makes more sense.
yeah, so I did it more so for myself because I learned a lot. I learned how to do retopology. I learned how to take the models and really knock them down to bare bones and what they need, and then work off of that. So optimization has become a huge thing for me now.
One of the things that are out there these days for optimization is a tool. It's called Polytool,
Oh,
and
I might have
I've
heard of it.
so I actually use Polytool for my conversions. So if you have an avatar that's what's the phrasing, very poor in VRChat, you
Yeah.
can actually run it through Polytool and make it a good avatar on PC, and then make it Quest compatible as a good avatar. And it does pretty much everything from crushing down all your materials and re-atlasing your entire avatar, and for simple terms that means basically combining all your textures in a way that makes it just optimized for people to upload.
Is that a
And it
Unity asset?
makes, yes, it's a Unity asset.
It's
It's
a
a
Unity
really useful
asset?
thing.
I
Yep.
thought
So
you
if you
had
have
to
an
go
avatar
into
that's,
Blender for atlasing.
yeah, typically, yeah, you do. But this tool is actually super good, and that's the really cool thing about modern creation compared to like 2019 or 2020 is that there are so many tools and guides and tips and stuff out there that uh, it's too easy to get into these days.
Oh
If
yeah.
you've ever even considered making Avatar, but then you're like, it's too much work, just do it. Look into it, do a little bit of research, and you get your
Yeah.
foot in the door, and you'll actually be able to upload a couple
It's
cool
so
things. And
rewarding. It's so rewarding. You will be able to make whatever the heck you want. You can just grab stuff off the internet and put it in there. And it's really not that hard to learn either. It only took me like I'd say the 2 weeks or so to like be pretty good at it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it takes a couple of weeks to get your understanding of the system and how it works, and then like you can upload within a day, but it takes a couple of weeks to kind of get an understanding of the avatars, and then it takes a couple of years to master it. I would say if you're doing it
Yeah.
consistently. Um,
Like if you've never seen Unity before, for sure, because that was kind of like me. Like the last time I saw Unity was a very long time ago.
yeah.
It's just
Now,
a trial by error type experience.
exactly. And for those people who are interested in actually becoming creators like we do, Now, obviously, we're not the best of the best out there. There's plenty of people way more skilled and talented than us, but because we
Speak for
got those kind
yourself.
of
I am.
resources, speak for yourself. Because we have our Discord channel, which is our Discord server, which is discord.gg/tvr, we actually have dedicated channels with tutorials on how to do stuff. And if you need help with your own model making, we have dedicated forum for that. So you can reach out to people who are gurus in making stuff on VRChat and who are more than willing to help you with any questions you have, which I think is a great resource.
Yeah.
Just a note on that. Don't expect someone to hold your hand along the entire way, but if you're actively trying to figure something out, people almost never have an issue just kind of pointing you in the right direction. That's just
Exactly.
something that I kind of learned the hard way. Is like I bit off a little bit more than I can chew, and then like, can someone help me? And then like no one really wants to hold my hand and basically tell me how to build my avatar from start to finish. Like you're gonna have to pick up the heavy lifting yourself. But if you get stuck, people were typically very eager to help you out.
You can just do what I did and find an artist friend and then like, get really close with them and then force them to help you work on your models.
Oh no.
Oh
Now,
my God.
something I do want to bring up, when I first started making models, VRChat had something known as the VRCSDK2. They have since graduated to the SDK3, which leaps and bounds way better. Because before you
is.
either had everything on your hand gestures or nothing. You had
Rest
to
in
use your
peace,
hands.
SDK2.
Rest in peace, SDK2, because actually it's now officially dead. They are no longer supporting it. The models that were uploaded with SDK2 still work for now. We'll see how long that goes.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think it's gonna last super long.
which is really sad because a lot of really fun avatars were made back then. But
Yeah.
yeah, the SDK2 is no longer with us. So rest in peace. We shall have a moment of silence. No, I'm just kidding. We're not moment of silencing that.
Yeah, no
SDK3 is
moment of
way
silence for
better.
SDK. Yeah, we have a radial menu. We can put stuff on the radial menu.
So the thing about SDK2 is, in my memory, it
Yeah.
was actually a lot easier to kind of set up. Um,
Oh, for
but
sure.
SDK3 was so fresh and new. I think that's really the only reason why it was even could be considered difficult, is because there's a lot of new stuff that's packed into it.
Oh,
For
yeah.
instance, like they brought what is it called? Um, they brought dynamic bones. They took dynamic
Oh, yeah, they
bones
switched them to
and
fizz
integrated it
bones.
into fizz bones. I actually made
Yeah.
a video about that a while back. But essentially, that huge change on its own was more than enough to push the entirety of the VR chat community towards making more SDK3 avatars, and
Yeah.
ultimately led to SDK2 just kind of falling off the wagon.
Yeah, no, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. The radial menu is the part that I actually loved the most because of how many options and organization you could use. Organization's a huge thing for me. I'm really bad about organization. I'm not OCD, at least not diagnosed. But you run into situations where it's like, oh, I've got a picture and now I've got my folders on my computer. Where do I put this picture? So I legit have pictures folder, and then in that is art folder, and then in that is totally folder, and in that is banners folder, and then
God
there's the parts for
damn,
my banner.
bro. You lost
So
me 3 folders back,
I
bro.
know, but that's just how I organize myself. Is I keep myself very structured with organization trees. So having the ability to do that with the radial menu was game changer for me when it came to avatar making.
Oh yeah. I just really like the fizz bones. I'd probably say I'd give it all up just to have the fizz bones.
True,
I
that
remember whenever
optimized a
they first
ton.
announced it, we're all like, "Wait, you can grab other people's fizz bones?"
Without doing some really janky stuff. Yeah, no, that
It
was
also came
mind
with like
changing.
being able to boop other people's and then have like little particle effects.
Oh
It
So
just
yeah,
much good
basically
stuff.
SDK3 just added integration to other people's avatars being able to interact with each other in unique and interesting ways. And when it first came out, there wasn't a whole lot known how that would be accomplished. But like you take a step back and look at it today, like you see people uh, that found a way to sync avatar animations across similar avatars, so you can all start doing the same dance if one person starts doing it.
oh yeah. I've seen that too. That's cool stuff. I still don't know how it works. I still cannot figure out how it works, but it's really, really neat.
You don't need
Gotta
to
check
know
them
how it
out.
works. Just go ahead and steal someone else's avatar and then copy that asset onto yours.
Nah, that's not the way.
Just reverse engineer it. That's what I do with a lot of
Oh,
stuff, actually. Just reverse engineering how they do it.
yeah. I mean, back when it was SDK2 and not SDK3, and there was limitations put on your models back then, because back then, really early on in VRChat, there was a limitation on how many polygons you could use for your model, regardless of what platform.
What was it? Because I remember that. I actually
It
remember that, but I don't know what the
20,000. 20,000 polys
20,000.
was the
What did I
max.
expect you to do with 20,000?
Exactly.
No one followed the rule.
No one followed the rule. And a lot of people, like myself, actually dug into the SDK. Don't get me in trouble, VRChat. Don't ban me. It's been too long. I don't
Get
do it
this, man.
anymore. But back then, I actually dug into the SDK's files to learn what was causing the thing to block your models whenever that happened, and I would edit the code. Because I did a little bit of coding before that when I was in college. And I was like,
Elite hacker.
elite hacker, I changed one line of code, yeah. But it led me to starting to make my own custom SDK and having like custom menus and custom buttons and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And then eventually I turned that into my own custom tool, which was a importer, an asset downloader and importer, which didn't run off the SDK at all. It would just have its own little thing. You'd press the button on it and you'd say, okay, pick a file, and I would say Dynamic Bones. I'd select that, and then I'd click download. It would download it, and then I'd click import, and it'd pull it straight into my project. I wouldn't have to go looking on the internet for these different things. Neffy, stop yelling. I don't know if you can
I'm
hear her
holding
in
my
the
cat
background.
back. I'm holding my cat back
Yes.
too.
Yeah, so I do apologize for the little kitty cat. Neffy!
Yeah,
Neffy!
my cat's a big meower as well.
Yeah.
She will meow just to get the attention.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like she's
it's always
saying,
something.
That's just how
me.
cats. Yeah.
It's not even time yet. She's got another 2 hours. It's not time.
2 hours. You mean now?
Yeah, right now, feed me.
Feed me now, mortal.
But the thing that I just got sidetracked for a moment there. What was I talking about?
You were talking about
Oh, the SDKs and stuff. Yeah, the importer that I made.
yes.
It was a really cool tool, and I would say Dynamic Bones. It was installed directly into my project, and I had a lot of fun with it. But then I found that VRChat made their creator companion, and it does exactly that. You can sit there and set your own files and be like, okay, this is a file I want you to download, and it's like, okay. So like, oh well, they just took my project and said, how about we do it? Which
How
I'm
about I
happy
do
because there's less
anyway?
work I have to do. But
Oh yeah.
The cat.
Yeah, I hear them
Got cat aggro.
screaming.
yeah, so that was an interesting thing. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, though, especially as a creator, is imposters.
Finally, yes. Imposters. They are forcing everyone to use them.
Yeah.
Everyone's avatar has them, right? You can't like use your fallback anymore, right?
Some avatars still
It's
don't
not
have
forced.
them. You have to enable
You have
it.
to generate it, and you have to generate it.
Yeah,
I thought they were making it to where like
yeah,
it's for everyone now. Then
they are slowly integrating it and forcing it onto avatars now. It's not fully done because I've tested it with a few of my models. A lot of my models have them now, but a few of my models I've jumped into and questies were like, I can't see that one, and I'm like, oh okay. But most models have fallbacks now, or imposters now, which I think is a really cool feature. It's
agree
really well designed
100%.
that you don't have to go to that effort if you don't want to, and people can still see what you look like. But my biggest gripe though with the imposters is what they recently did, because it used to be you had your quest models, your PC models, your fallback models, and your imposters. Now it's PC, quest, imposter. They completely got rid of fallbacks.
That's what I'm complaining about. I spent so long optimizing a model in Blender.
Yeah.
Like struggling my brains out trying to figure out Blender and how to like optimize, decimate my avatar and make it look ugly to put it down below like 8 MB at 10,000 or 8,000, however many
Oh
triangles it
yeah,
needs to go
10,000.
down, only to finally upload and say, yes, I did it. And then just a couple months later, they're like, yeah, so we're doing imposters now, which like you said, I freaking love imposters. They are so cool. I am so glad that people can see my other avatars
Yeah,
that I don't want to put
put
the
that
time and
effort
effort
into.
into.
It's just a shame that they didn't keep the option for the fallbacks, because you could make your fallback look really good and people be able to see that and not see the PS1 avatar style,
Yeah.
because it does kind of have that feel of like a PS1 or a N64 kind of game with the way that they do the different joints, because it's got like
Uh-huh.
it turns your model into like a your upper arm and then your lower arm are separate spheres, and then those move. And it has that PS1 effect where it kind of the pixelation moves around as you adjust.
Yeah, early 3D
Early
effect.
3D, yeah. But like I said, it's a great feature. I just wish that the fallbacks weren't cut as a result, because you
For
could do
sure.
some good stuff with your fallbacks that would at least let them see a representation of your model in a good quality. You got any thoughts on that, Zyku? Because I know you're newer in that fallback scene. Flat and I were the only ones that dug too deep into that, I think.
Yeah.
Talking about, I found Polytool.
Oh,
I started
true.
Oh,
using
yeah.
Polytool, and then it's like
That's so
a lot
true.
easier for me to optimize my avatar. So if you ever see, if you're on the quest side and you see my avatar, it's been ran through Polytool.
Yeah.
Um, I'll actually share that in the Totally VR Discord somewhere. We got a channel for that, right?
I don't know that we do. You could probably throw it
We'll find a
in.
place to put it
Yeah,
in.
you might be able to throw it in
Probably
tutorials.
tutorials.
Yeah, because it's good to have
Right?
little assets in there for people needing help.
I'll 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 package it with how to use and then throw in tutorials.
Hey, there you go.
But so when it comes to like optimizing your avatar, it's just something that you have to do. It's something that needs to happen if you want to be seen by as many people as possible
Yeah.
and build those connections with people who are on, you know, a less powerful device than you're using. I know people who are on Quest or uh, are on mobile, they typically, you know, aren't necessarily fortunate, or they're not able to get on to a more powerful setting to see everyone and do everything. So it's just a good rule of thumb to be considerate in that regards, and remember that when you're uploading your avatar, that, you know, I'm sure they want to see you in some form as well. Even if it's
Yeah.
not the full form, I'm sure they would appreciate just being able to
See
see
an
what you got.
idea. Yeah. So
Otherwise, you got to use that in the game VRC plus little Polaroid picture printer. It's another good way to
that's
share
true. That's
what
true.
you see.
Yeah,
I love
I've
that
done that a
thing.
couple times where it's like, oh, Questy can't see how I'm modifying my avatar because I didn't do that for the quest because it was too unoptimized. So I can just take a picture of it with the VRChat Plus feature and be like, here's what I look like right now. And they're like, oh, okay. So it's nice that you don't have to be like, hey, jump in our Discord right now and look at VRChat pics, which is definitely something you can do, but it just gives it a quicker option and more convenient.
Yeah.
Well, before we close this out, I would like to go through and do something that I want to do with every podcast episode, where we recommend some worlds in VRChat that we like, and we recommend some games that we love, whether that's VR games or not. So, to start us off, I'd like to recommend as a world. Now, keep in mind, this is PC only currently. There's no Quest compatibility, so for people who are running Quest only, I do apologize. But it's called Anime OP Stage. This world is crazy well done. It's massive. It's about 540 megabytes. So again, going on the optimization section. But I'm pretty sure it's because all of the audio files for every single opening is in the world. So, but it's really well designed. You go in, it's like the sci-fi kind of feel. You run up, you start the match, you choose how many anime you want to show up. Because a lot of times when you go to worlds that are anime openings quizzes, and they're for Quest compatible too, it's just like, oh, here's 5 anime in front of you, click the one you think the song belongs to, and then it takes you to another area. And it's like, here's 5 anime in front of you. Whereas this stays all in one location, and you've got all the anime just kind of showing up in front of you. You hear the song, you get about a minute, and then you have to click as fast as you can to figure out which one you want. And then it grades you based on that. And it's a really fun little competition because you get points that you can like score against your friends.
It's very fun, but man, do I suck at it. I
Oh.
skip every anime opening of every anime I watch. I cannot be good at that game.
No, and I get that. I always, every time I'm watching anime with Flat, I'm like, hey, let's watch. And he's like, skip the opening. This opening is mid. And it's,
Look, if we can hear it once, I don't want to hear it ever again. And even then, I don't even want to hear it once unless it's Oshinoko season 1 opening.
even,
That's not true.
Even
If
the
you've ever watched Overlord, then you know that you have to hear the intro
that's
to
a good
Overlord
opening.
in season 2 every
Middle
time.
school, I watched Overlord.
Did you see season 2?
No, I did not. I only saw season 1.
Shame on you.
You've heard Mashal's opening, right, Zycu?
I did not.
Oh, I'll have to show that one to you later. But that's another one that's like an absolute banger. But Flat's like, nah, this is
Hold on,
mid.
I am being slandered right now. Krona is saying that I probably skip JoJo openings. No, man, you've gone too far. Okay, JoJo, I do not skip. You do not skip any of the JoJo openings, especially the bloody stream.
All right. So some of them he'll listen to, but most of the time, I mean, myself included, when I'm watching anime, what I'll typically do is I'll watch the opening for the first episode, and I'll watch it for the last episode. Or the first and the last episode of that season or arc, wherever the new openings start, because I love listening to the music, but then I don't want, as the story goes on, to unveil for the opening visuals to spoil me on things. So to prevent that from happening, I usually go, okay, I'll listen to this once, I'll listen to the banger, and at the very end of the season, I'll listen to it and really get to understand what visually was going on, because I have seen what happened in that season. But because of that, I'm not as good as the opening as your boy Movie. Movie is a god in the opening stage, but
yeah, I have a friend named Movie who does nothing but watch anime and listening to anime opening themes all day. Like, if you take a look at his playlist, whenever he goes to work out or something, it's literally just anime openings. Like,
but
it is
his knowledge is so vast. It's so cool watching him go to work at it, because you're like, oh, let's work together, and he's like, boom, this one. I'm like, wow. It's 2 seconds in. Incredible. So that's my recommendation. What about you, Flat?
I've got a recommendation for a wonderful world that I go to very often because it's one of my favorite game worlds in VRChat. It's called Wavelength. Now, this game, it has an actual tabletop game, but I don't think it's as good as the one.
Tabletop one.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the one in a VRChat. So that tabletop game is not as good. So how Wavelength kind of works is you're basically given a spectrum, and you will get a word, and you are basically going to try and get everyone on the correct part of that spectrum. So for instance, the left side of the spectrum might say hot, the right side of the spectrum might say cold, and my word would be volcano. So I would tell everyone, okay, volcano, and they would move over to the left side on the hot side, and how perfect they are on that spectrum, they get more points. It is so fun to play with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's one of those few VRChat game worlds where you can have like 40 people in it and it still run well. Because a lot of times game worlds are like limited for the number of players.
The better the person that's saying the word, more likely you are to know where they would place that word.
Yeah,
so it's really
one
interesting
of those things for
when you add like a group dynamics.
True, yeah.
But it's also a great opportunity to learn people.
True.
Yeah, one of the things that we can do is, one side of the spectrum might be like mature, and the other side might be childish, and we will say each other's names.
Oh man, that's always fun to like pick people out and be like, who out of this group would, or who this person in this group, where are they actually at? Are they childish? Are they mature? Are they somewhere in the middle? Because we did that.
Yeah, because it's all based on the person who has the word.
Me. You said my name, I
Yeah,
think. What about you,
it was someone who
Zycu?
said your name.
Have you guys ever
Oh,
heard
my bad.
of world? Have you guys ever heard of this world called Arrow House?
I think I've been there once or twice.
So Arrow House is more of like a relax kind of world, a place to chill and vibe and mirror dwell if you so choose. The creator describes this place as a luxurious, cozy hideaway with ample space for socializing and relaxation. It is most certainly perfect for gatherings or just peaceful solitude if you're a bit of a lone explorer. But
It is a
this is one of those
gorgeous
worlds where
world.
you can find just a comfy spot to sit. It has video players. It has just really great aesthetics in general. The world skybox in it's really decent. Lighting's really nice and it's not too moody or too bright. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's a great place if you're looking for a chill location to just kind of sit back and relax and maybe watch some YouTube videos with some friends. Definitely worth the checkout.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been there before. It's gorgeous. There is nice, close, intimate spaces, and there's nice, big, open spaces. It's very pretty of a world.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit it on one of our World Hop events that we do every
For
Thursday,
sure.
every other Thursday on discord.gg/TVR in our VR chat group TVR.2006.
The
Ooh,
plug.
The
yeah.
plug! It has happened.
Plug.
Um,
There it is.
Going on with that though, what kind of games are we playing more recently and really loving? I'd love to hear what you guys
Ah,
think.
well, I can go first on this one.
All right.
So, last time I recommended Library of Ruina. Well, let me tell you the predecessor to that one, Lobotomy Corporation. This is a monster manager type of game where if you kind of know about SCP or the SCP Foundation, then you're kind of going to understand what this is about. So basically, you're a manager in a facility, and you get a bunch of monsters, like creatures like that have really weird, strange quirks, and
Yeah.
you have to interact with them to gain energy for a big city. So, over time, you'll get more weirder, like stronger monsters that are way more dangerous.
Interesting.
You'll get like monsters that are just big, huge floating skulls that just judge you. And there's like weird pink deer things that like crystallize
Hmm.
you. Like there's a lot of really cool ideas in the game.
Yeah. That sounds interesting. I haven't heard of that one before,
Yeah.
actually.
It's quite a difficult game and it's pretty niche, so not too many people know about it. But
So,
that's
like, how
definitely a
much
good. Go ahead.
does it just lean into the SCP universe on that one character, or is it just more of a reference?
No, it doesn't. It's not SCP universe. This is a completely new universe that makes its own monsters. It's, what they're called are abnormalities. So
Ah,
these abnormalities are based off of some stories, like, trying to think one. One of them is based off of a matchstick girl. Another one is based off of Alice and an apple, I believe. But there's a lot that are based off of just in real world scenarios, real world fairy tales, basically. But it
Hmm.
is very fantastic of a game. It has multiple endings, and it is one of those where you can, just like Library of Arena, get lost in the incredible story.
so you're just saying that if you like SCP, you will appreciate this game.
Exactly what I am saying. If you like SCP, go check this out. There are so many cool abnormalities.
Hmm. What about you, Zyku? What kind of game would you recommend?
So I'm gonna say this because I've been playing a lot of it recently. But I've been spending a lot of time on Terraria lately, specifically the
Ah.
Calamity mod with a friend of mine named Espesium. And if you've never heard of Terraria and you never played Terraria, I can tell you confidently that this is one of those games that you have to play at least once in your life. It's a 2D side scroller style game, but the expectations of a 2D side scroller are completely blown off the hinges with what this game offers. The vast quantity of items and weapons, materials, and sheer like exploration, like location points that you can go to, it'll spin you around. It'll blow you away with how much this game has content wise. I've been playing it pretty steady for the last 2 weeks, but I've played it a handful of times over the past existence of it. Like I used to play back in the Xbox 360 days on Terraria.
It's one of those old games, but man, is it good.
It slaps
Oh, yes.
so hard.
It's like hands down, it's an adventure game. But it's also a sandbox style game compared to Minecraft frequently because of the block mechanic where you can mine blocks.
Yeah, it's 2D Minecraft.
Mine down. That's what a lot of people say, but Terraria in itself is its own classification, and I don't think it gets enough praise, in my opinion, or enough notoriety.
No, you're absolutely
it gets a lot of notoriety,
right.
don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's enough. I think they've gone above and beyond what should be expected of a 2D side scroller.
Yeah, and
if
they
you
will not
haven't
stop
played
updating
before,
it.
And the developers,
just do it.
I mean, it came out in the 360 era. Like it's an old game. They are still to this day updating it. And they do not.
They keep saying this will be the last one, guys.
This will be the last update.
You.
They will do something else, and then they come right back in and do more. And every single update's free. Absolutely incredible. I love Terraria. It's my second most played game on Steam. Right behind VRChat.
Very good game.
So yeah, great recommendation.
Oh, and for the people who have different pronunciations of vowels, a lot of times it is referred to as Terraria.
True. I say Terraria though.
Yeah, because it's based on terrariums.
Terraria makes more sense. Exactly, because
it does actually, but I like saying Terraria.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, before I move on, Chrono says he's actually talked to some of the devs of the game and says they're super passionate. That's awesome.
Yeah, they are. I mean, if you've been working on a game like, since however long they've been working on it, I'd assume you'd have to be passionate.
At least a decade. At least a decade. Yeah, but for me, Corona made a comment saying earlier that my recommendation is going to be Silksong, which is a fantastic game. I have been pouring myself into it recently. I've probably got 10 hours in, maybe a little bit less than that, but not today. I haven't finished it. I don't know how good it is all the way through. But one game that I can say confidently is a game I want everyone to experience is Sky Children of the Light. Now this game started out as a mobile game. It was made by the same company who made Flower and Journey. I don't know if either of you are familiar with those games.
I know Journey. I don't know Flower.
Yeah,
I know
so
of Journey.
Flower wasn't as popular, but Journey really hit it off. It was about going from the bottom of a sand dune and making your way up to the top peak of a mountain, and the experience of that journey going through. And it was beautifully done, beautifully arted. Did they make Abzu? I don't remember them making Abzu. I think it was
also
a
a
different studio.
very, very popular one.
That was awesome. It's very, very similar theme in the way that it's played. Now,
For sure.
Sky, Children of the Light, is Journey 2.0. It's everything Journey was, but 10 times better. You have customization, so you can change the way you look. There's a lot of interactions you can have with people, because in Journey, it was you run up to someone, you beep with them. That's all you can do. And kind of run side by side. A really beautiful way to do it. And Sky, you can run up people, you can beep at them. But you can also befriend them. You can hug them. You can hold their hands and drag them around. You can give them piggybacks. You can unlock chat with them if you want to, so you can send messages back and forth. There's a lot of cute interactions you can do with other players, and then you get to unlock all these cool cosmetics by helping these spirits out in the realms, because these spirits are trapped by darkness, and you have to release them from it. Then you buy cosmetics from them using the in-game currency. And then after you got the cool cosmetics, you can run around and be like, look at me. I look pretty cool, don't I? And you get to friend all these people and show off your cool looks. And the story of the game is beautiful because, without spoiling too much, it kind of revolves around the birth of a human to the death of a human, and like the style of life that they go through as they get older. It's really gorgeous. And for a mobile game, let alone, this game was a beautiful piece of art, but now they've slightly updated it and released it onto PC I think it's also on PlayStation and it's on Switch. So if you have any of those platforms, for this game, it's 100% free. Highly, highly recommend checking it out.
It is a
Yeah,
very good looking and relaxing game too.
Yeah.
I spent a good amount of time in it with you and your wife, and I can tell you that it's definitely worth the try. Um, it's not for everybody because it's not your typical like run and gun or you have a clear objective. It's purely an experience type game, and
Yeah.
those experiences are completely going to be generated by you and how you interact with the other players and how
The
you
environment, yeah.
feel going through the environment and kind of wandering your way through this mysterious place. So definitely pick it up if you haven't.
Oh yeah, for free,
I need to log into it
That's
again
that's the
sometime.
best part. You really do. This last season that they
Free
did,
99.
free 99. This last season that they did was gorgeous. It actually delved into the lore of how the realms ended up the way they did. So
Mm-hmm.
really, really cool. And they did it in the format of a cinema. So you went and you could, like, they're making a movie based on it. So you got to go into the cinema and watch bits of the movie that's coming out and then go and relive the experience of that movie through the season.
That's a really good idea.
Right?
That's really
Right?
cool.
Blew my mind when they decided to make that the season. I was like, this is really neat. And they're constantly doing events, so you have like days of summer where it's like summer themed items, summer themed missions and stuff like that. It's really neat. Really, really good game. But yeah,
Mm.
I think that'll close us out now. So I want to just say thank you all for joining us, all these beautiful people in the audience, and those who are listening to this on our podcast platforms. We have it on multiple different places, whether that be Amazon, YouTube, Google Podcasts, which is I think YouTube Podcast now, YouTube Music. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. So if any of those places that you're listening to us, or places even further out of that, thank you so much. We really enjoy having you here. We're going to be doing this every other Sunday. Today we recorded on a Saturday, but I'll probably upload it on Sunday if I have my internet at the time. But
If the landlord grants
if
you
the
it.
landlord grants me the internet, I shall upload it. Otherwise, it'll be a little delayed. But we really appreciate all of you being a part of this and look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Every other Sunday.
Don't
So
forget about the plug.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you would like to be a part of this live or want to hang out with us and the other people of our community, you can reach out to us through Discord at discord.gg/TVR, and you can connect with us in VRChat in our VRChat group TVR.2006 or Totally VR. You can find it that way as well if you do a search. So
we have
The
so
plug.
many events happening at all times. You can join us basically on any day, and we'll have an event that you can come and join and hang out with us. So
yeah,
please come on and join us.
doing movie events, hangout events. We do game nights. We do Jackbox party pack nights sometimes. Tons of different stuff that we do. So looking forward to spend time with all of you. Yeah, that'll be it for me. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everyone. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
And I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.